You seem very upbeat about what's going on in Panama today. Are you confident about its future, and how do you reflect on its future in comparison to its history as well?
Well, you know, people that were here, 10 or 15 years ago don't recognize the Panama of today. The country is growing, it's prospering. Last year they had a double-digit growth, 11.2% growth last year. This year they look like they're on track to have double-digit growth again. They have a vibrant democracy. When you think about the situation the country was in 1989 with when Noriega was dictator of Panama, the drug trade was thriving under his leadership. And you look at today, Panama next year will have its 5th peaceful transfer of power, which is something to really praise the Panamanians for. It's a huge accomplishment. I think they've had good government. They've had fiscal responsibility. I think they've created an environment that welcomes business and commerce. They look upon the future of Panama as being the Singapore of the region, where they can take advantage of their geographic location as well as their logistical capabilities to be the Singapore for all of the region. And that's an exciting vision. That said, there are clouds on the horizon. There are challenges that Panama and Panamanians face that are grave threats to them. Corruption continues to be a problem in Panama. The good news is they realize that and they're talking about it. And there are civil society groups that have and the press talk about this relentlessly. So it's something that Panamanians are ashamed of when they hear of corruption in the country. So I think the trend lines are going in the right direction, at least in public opinion, public pressure, that we'd like to encourage to continue, frankly, because I think that's really one of the Achilles heels of Panama. The educational system is in a pretty sorry state, frankly. Public education in Panama. Over half of the graduates of Panamanian public high schools can't pass the exams to get into Panamanian universities. We had one a large U.S. company that is setting up operations in Panama. They gave their standard test entry exam for their company to 300 Panamanians. Only 2 passed. And the normal pass rate in this region is 15%. So that shows you that they've got some real problems in their educational system that they need to address. The good news there also is the government recognizes that and is taking steps to try to prepare Panamanians for the requirements the country has to take advantage of this economic growth, to make sure that Panamanians can take those jobs that are going to be created in the canal expansion project, in the construction boom here, in the tourist industry and so forth. The judicial system is in a sorry state, frankly. It's justice up for hire in many cases. If you have money, you can buy the right decision of the courts. That erodes the public confidence in democratic systems and in the judicial system. And that also then breeds corruption, because people feel that if you can get away with doing criminal acts, well then hell, let's do it. The narco trafficking, Panama has a huge problem with drug trafficking through Panama. Panama is the world's greatest shortcut, and it's not just for the good things, it's for the bad things too. And you've got Colombia, and a lot of the drugs that are coming out of Colombia pass through Panama, either the land or the littoral of Panama. They've got to deal with that, and security has become an issue in Panama. And from a business perspective, I gave a speech several months ago where I talked about Panama being at a tipping point, at a real crossroads, where they've got a lot of investors looking at Panama as a great opportunity for them. But there are 2 types of investors. They're the good ones and the bad ones. And they're mutually exclusive. And the good investors want to have stable democracy. They want to have security. They want to have a judicial system that's reliable, where they can trust the judicial system. They want a corruption-free environment so that their investments are safe. On the other hand, the bad guys love to have weak institutions. They love to have corruptible judicial systems. They love to have corrupt officials that they can bribe and get away with their criminal acts. But if you have that sort of investor here that's thriving, then the good guys are going to stay away. They're going to say, I don't want to be a part of that. And so Panama is really at a crossroads where they have to make some tough decisions about what future do they want. Do they want the future where the good guys prevail, or the ones where the bad guys run amok? And that's where I see the free trade agreement also having a role in pushing them in the right direction.
So you see its economy improving, wealth generation,
right.
And your hope is that it will help the country and all its institutions improve.
Right, and also hopefully what the free trade agreement and this booming economy will do will start to raise up the income levels and the prosperity of all Panamanians, not just the elites, but that 40% of Panamanians that are mired in poverty and continue to be mired in poverty, giving them hope for the future and economic prospects for the future, opportunities to improve their lot, where they can take advantage of this prosperity that Panama is seeing. That's important for Panama, and it's important for the United States also.